Hey guys, this is SirJesto and welcome to another episode of How to Mod Skyrim Anniversary Edition for Beginners. If you followed the last episode, we learned how to download and set up Mod Organizer 2. Now we're going to look at understanding some of the UI elements and some of the features of Mod Organizer. If you recall from the last episode, we downloaded and installed the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. I've also put in a few more, put in some of the Creation Club content here since I last saw you. If you haven't seen the previous video, you should go back and watch it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can follow along as we go through installing the different tools and setting up your load order to play the game. And I will play it with you when we're done. Okay, so let's go through some of the buttons here and understand what they're doing and what you can use them for. So this here is where you're going to open up the Instance Manager window if you wish to manage a different game. So you'll press this. Right now it's showing we're running Skyrim Special Edition. All right, and this is where the game is located and where our folders are located. We did go over that last video as well. So we're just going to play Skyrim, so we don't need to worry about that button for this tutorial. This button here, installing a new mod from an archive. Now last time, if you remember, we downloaded the special unofficial Skyrim patch using the download with mod manager button, and it came to here. This is for if you are trying to install a mod that doesn't have that button, but it's still a mod you want to install in Mod Organizer. Now there's some plugins that you won't be installing this way. They require manual installation into the Skyrim folder. We're talking about mods though that may have a manual button or that don't come from the Nexus that you wish to install as a regular mod. Let's take a mod like Legacy of the Dragonborn, for example. Legacy of the Dragonborn has only a manual download button. That's simply because the file size is too large to have a download with manager button. It's quite possible that the BSA archive will get corrupted using a download with manager button. So this is why Legacy of the Dragonborn only has a manual download button. So if you want to try this out, you can download it, manually download it. I've already pre-done that. Okay, so here it is here. I will drag it to my desktop. Alright, and there's a little plug for my YouTube channel. Go and check it out. Subscribe. Now, we can press this button here. And we're gonna browse to that location. So it's on the desktop. And there it is right there. Legacy of the Dragonborn. And open. And this is how it will install it from that file. Okay. And we'll just click OK. And then Legacy of the Dragonborn starts installing. And there we have it right there. What does happen though when you manually install is it doesn't have the version number correctly. So let's try dragging the archive to the download folder and see what happens. So now it's in here. You'll notice this little exclamation point there. So what you'll want to do is right click, query info. Okay, now it's going to search for the proper info. There, looks like it's found it. Now it looks like a regular download like we downloaded with manager. So let's double click that. Install again. It'll say, oh, it already exists. We'll go, that's fine. We'll just replace it. We'll install it again. This is just, you can do it either way. You might want to do it this way though, that I'm doing right now, because then you should get the version info. There you go. See? And now you're installed. and click it here to activate it. And there we have it. Now, let's go over this. This is to browse the Nexus. Okay, that'll take you to the Nexus mods page. This is your profiles tab. Right now I'm on the default profile. Now let's say you want to create a profile with different, like with a different mod loadout for a different character or something like that. Okay, you will go create. Okay, and then you'll enter your new profile. Like let's say I'll put my Hunter character in there, and we'll just call it Hunter, and we'll put the default game init settings in there, because like say I've changed them but I want to use different settings, I'll just do that. Or if you want to just use the same init settings, you won't click that. Okay, click enter. There, no, there's Hunter. It's going to use the profile specific game init files, and if you want to keep your saves specific to the profile so they don't show up for each other, you'll make sure you click use profile specific save games. Okay, and this way you can switch them from one to the other profile if you hadn't done that already. I have no saves, so that doesn't need doing. So we'll close it. That's how you create a profile, and then you can just switch between profiles. So now I'll have default, then I'll switch to Hunter. Now everything is default. See, it's even unselected them. See, they're not activated. So let's go back to the default profile for now, and there you see, back to being selected. That'll just refresh the screen. Say you've done something and you want to make sure that the change has taken, you'll just hit the refresh button just to make sure everything's up to date. Here we have configure executables. Now I've pre-configured SSE edit, but we're not gonna that's gonna be in a separate video, but this is where we're going to configure our executable files in order to run them through Mod Organizer. They must be run through Mod Organizer to take advantage of its virtual file system, but we'll get into that in the next video. We have in our init file editor here. This is where you can make your changes to Skyrim init, Skyrim prefs init, and any custom changes that you might want that override these to here. Go into Skyrim custom. Now your init changes must be done through your profile system in Mod Organizer, simply because it's not, it'll use profile specific inits. If you're trying to change it in the default location, which is in Documents, My Games, Skyrim Special Edition, if you try to change them here, they won't be changed through Mod Organizer. Mod Organizer uses its specific init files for its different profiles. So this is where you'll want to make your init file changes. Like say, for example, you wanted to enable papyrus logging. Well, you would do that in here rather than in your default location in My Documents. All right, and this is your various settings for Mod Organizer. Your basic diagnostic plugin. One thing that I've done is change check overwrite from true to false, so that you don't see the error message whenever there's anything in the overwrite folder, because sometimes you want that stuff in there and you don't want to see the error notation. So that's one change you could make if you would like right now, is change that from true to false. All right, make sure it's enabled, and that's your plugins. What we did in my previous video as well is we enabled archives parsing. That's to check for conflicts between mods that have archives. So if you haven't already, enable that as well in the workarounds tab. Those are the two things I recommend you do right now. Previously, we also associated the download with manager links with Mod Organizer. If you haven't done that yet, make sure you do that by clicking the associate button. All right, and as you can see, I'm logged in as SirJesto. And here are your servers. You can drag and drop your preferred servers for your different download speed. Themes, you can go over that yourself. It's to change the look of how you want things. And again, our paths, the base directory where Mod Organizer is in this instance, as well as the managed game Skyrim SE. Okay. Another thing that you may want to do, I don't like to see this log file unless there's a problem. It just takes up too much space. So just go to View, turn off the log, okay? And this little button right here, you see Filter. I prefer to have this open, all right? And that way I can switch between what mods are active, which mods are deactivated, whether or not there are updates available or not. I just like to have this handy. Okay, so you may want to leave that open too to switch between whatever you're doing. And one more thing I'd like to go over is these tabs right here. Now I've got conflicts on, flags, the content that's in the mod, the Nexus ID. I don't have the source game on because we know what game it is, the version, and the asset priority. Okay, I would recommend you put those on. You may want notes on when you start making notes. And to make notes on a mod, like say you've done a change to it manually and you want to make sure that you remember that, you'll go to Information. In here you'll find the different plugins that are in with the mod, any conflicts with other mods. So here we have Legacy of the Dragonborn conflicts with the unofficial patch in these ways. Okay, so these are the texture and mesh conflicts. This is where you'll find your conflicts. There's the Nexus info, the mod ID, what version, takes you right to the page. Here's the file tree of Legacy of the Dragonborn. Okay, and any notes that you wish to make, you can enter here. And then they would appear on the Notes tab. Right here. I don't usually leave the Notes tab on. Occasionally I'll make a note, but I don't usually leave it on. Here we sort by the mod name, alphabetically. You can sort by what content is in it. You'll usually want to sort by priority though. And before we leave, I think we better go back and touch a little bit on conflicts, because this is something that a lot of people would really like to know when it comes to Mod Organizer. I'm on Legacy of the Dragonborn right now. The top tab here is showing me what mods its files are overwriting, and in this case it's the special edition patch. We do want that, and then it shows us the exact files that are being overwritten. If there were more mods in here, it will show us other overwrites. We will go over that again in a future video when there are more mods installed in our series here. But for now, I just wanted to basically touch on it. And this right here is showing us that, yes, Legacy's archive is overwriting another archive. That's what the green plus is. The green, or the red minus on USEPs means that its archive is being overwritten by another mod. Occasionally you will see both a minus and a plus. It means that somewhere in the order it is overwriting and being overwritten. But again, when we have more mods installed in a future video, we will go over that at length. Okay, that's how to understand the basics of Mod Organizer 2. Oh, one more thing. Actually, I should point out the Archives tab here. This shows us the mods that have have archives associated with them. And in this case, we all do. All of these mods. This is the virtual data folder. This is as if you were looking at it in a data folder, what it would look like. Okay. Your save files would be here, and again, here's our download tab. Okay. In this archive tab, if you wanted to, and you want to extract the BSA into loose files, you could do it from in here. You would just go to this BSA here. You would right-click it and click extract, and that would open up. That would open up a window. You would explore to where you'd want to extract them. And in this case, let's say there, I'll extract it to the UZEP folder. Now the UZEP folder has loose files in it. So we can go in there and have a look. There we go. But again, that's another thing we'll go over at length when we wish to extract one for sure during our series. We will go over that. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe. Our next video will be on installing SKSE64. Talk to you later. Happy modding.